Hi guys, we're back. We've got lesson 1.1 order of operations. We did do a warm up together in class activity with simplifying, and we know what the heart means. So number one, first step we had to do on this one was our multiplying, as that's where we got the 18 followed by any adding or subtracting, ending up with 23. On number two, we had to go inside the parentheses first. Integer rule number two, because it's adding, we've got two unlike signs, negative and positive. Subtract the smaller from the larger, ignoring signs. That's 3. Keep the sign of the larger. When you're ignoring signs, 5 is bigger. It's positive. Your answer is positive. Then we'll go on to multiply and finally subtract for an answer of 5. On number 3, inside the parentheses, the sum here was 7. The difference here was 7. Notice we had to copy the rest of the stinking problem. Means we had to copy the parentheses and keep them there. Otherwise, it would have looked like a 77. Keep your parentheses. They mean multiply. 49 was the correct answer on number 3. On number 5, on this one here, we had to go left to right and find any parentheses. Nope. Any exponents. Nope. Any multiplying or dividing. Either one. Stop. Stop. We've got 6. Copy the rest of the stinking problem. Now check for any multiplying or dividing. Stop. Multiply. Copy the rest of the problem. Any multiplying or dividing? Stop. We've got 2. This was 6 minus 12. If you have 6, take away 12. We know it's negative 6. We can apply the integer rule. Change the minus to a plus. Find the inverse of the following number. Then use rule 1 or 2. Rule 2. They're opposite signs. 2 unlike signs. Subtract the smaller from the larger. 6. Keep the sign of the larger. If you're ignoring signs, there's your negative. 12 is larger. If you're ignoring the signs, it's larger than a 6. Its sign is negative, your answer is negative. Do that one again. It's adding. Positive and a negative. They're unlike. 2 unlike signs. Subtract the smaller from the larger. That's 4. Ignoring signs, keep the sign of the larger. 6 is larger. It's negative. There we go. Okay, on to number 6. On number 6, left to right, no parentheses. First thing would then be exponents. This tells you to write down 3 of whatever the base is. 2, 2, 2, multiply them together. That would be 8. Next, any multiplying or dividing left to right. Stop. I do have some dividing. It does not say multiply first. Any multiplying or dividing left to right. Stop. I've got 4. Copy the rest of the problem. Now multiply here, and you end up subtracting very last. You guys are doing great. Keep it up. Okay, on this one here, absolute value bars behave like they are parentheses or any other grouping symbol, except they do something a little bit different in a second. So parentheses first, which means grouping symbols first also. So go inside there, solve that. 2 unlike signs, subtract smaller from the larger, keep the sign of the larger. Copy the rest of the stinking problem. There's still absolute value bars, there's still a -8, and there's still a 5 right out in front. Now, because these act like parentheses, we know this is saying 5 times whatever this is. So what is the distance from 0 to this number? It would be 4. Absolute value is always positive. It's a distance. When I drive to Twin Falls, I drive 15 miles over there. Even if I drive in reverse back, I don't drive negative 15 miles. It's always a distance. It's always positive. And then we would multiply here, 20 minus 8, and we'd end up with 12. Keep that upside down triangle looking good. Okay, inside parentheses, we've got 5. Copy the rest of the stinking problem. And inside parentheses here, we've got 9. Next, we have to do exponents. There's nothing left in the parentheses to do. So we're moving on to exponents. 2 of those 5s written down would be 25 if I multiplied them together. And 3 times 9, 27. Add those 2 together, and we end up with, come out to the side, keep it out of your upside down triangle. You don't want it inside your work here. 2, 1, 5, 52 for a final answer. Number 9. So here in our grouping symbols, this is a fraction bar, also known as a divide bar. It does say to take care of this first, like you would any other grouping symbol, before we add the 10 on. So we're going to go up here, take care of the top, then the bottom, and divide it, then move on. So up here we have 6 times -2, which is -12. Copy the rest of the stinking problem. 2, this is adding, so integer rule 2, 2 unlike signs, subtract the smaller from the larger, ignoring signs, keep the sign of the larger. 18 is bigger when we're ignoring those signs. It's positive, so is my answer. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then finally add the 10 on would be 12. Number 10. We're almost done, guys. So we've got the absolute value of 6 plus negative 15 all divided by 9. Inside here, we've got to solve this first. Start order of ops inside these. Do I see any parentheses left to right? Yes, I do. Is there anything inside to do? No. Okay, so any exponents left to right? Nope. Any multiplier divide? Nope. So we are going to add 2 unlike signs, subtract the smaller from the larger, ignoring signs, keep the sign of the larger. There's still absolute value bars, copy the rest of the stinking problem. And then here we have what is the distance from 0 to this number. There are 9 spaces divided by 9. Answer is 1. Number 11 says Sunset Middle School is putting on a spring musical. Tickets are $6 for adults and $2 for students. On opening night, they sold 90 tickets to adults and 50 tickets to students. 11A. Write an expression. Remember, expression, no equal sign. Equation does. Write an expression to represent the total amount of money collected in ticket sales on opening night. It was also on Google Form a suggestion of how this should look. So you'll take a peek at that when you're doing this as well. But we have 11A. If we sold 6 tickets for adults and they were $90 each, and we have to add that amount that we made. We sold for $2, we sold 50 tickets to students. So the total you would get here, we'd have to go out 90 times 6, 6 times 0 is 0. Whoops, can you see that? 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 9 is 54. So $540 for the adult tickets. And then those 50 tickets we sold at $2 each. 50 times 2 is 100. Add those together. The other clue on Google Forms said don't forget to label it. So my final answer, there's my work. Usually don't put labels in your work. My final answer would then be $640. The dollar sign goes in front. I've noticed a lot of you are putting in the back. That's okay, fix it now. We want to put that in the front. Awesome. Okay, so now we have 11B. 11B, how much money was collected in ticket sales on the opening night? So right here, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take my highlighter. All 11A was asking for was the expression. Right there, set up perfectly. That was the format that it was suggested on Google Form to set it up. Then B wanted to know the actual ticket price, so I probably should have waited and put this down here. I'm going to put a box around that so it stands out, and I will take the time to rewrite it so it looks nice and neat. Circle my answer. And the last problem, number 12. And so on number 12, it says to create an expression, you're writing the problem, with at least 4 numbers and 2 different operations that has a value of 12. And the hint on here on Google Forms did say, hint, an expression does not have an equal sign. For example, 2 plus 6 is an expression, whereas 2 plus 6 equals 8 is an equation. This would be my answer for problem 12. I used 4 numbers and 2 operations. We only have 4 operations to choose from, and it said 2 different ones. Our 4 operations are add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's 4. We get to pick 2 different ones to use. I used some multiplying, I used adding, I used a third one, I used subtract. So here I checked my answer. This is what I decided that my expression would be, and then I just double checked my answer. So on number 12, I decided my expression, and I had to do some guess and check. I had to try a few different things out, as I'm sure you did. Whoops, minus 2 times 7 plus 2. So here I've got 24 minus 14 plus 2. 24 minus 14, I've got 10 plus 2 is 12. I was just doing a check here to make sure my answer worked, and it did. The correct answer on this one that you need to type into Google Form correctly would be the actual expression. That was what we were looking for. An expression with 4 numbers and at least 2 different operations. Hey, we're done.